Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second installment of my For Honor guide series. We're going to follow up with the Lawbringer and more of a class-centric guide. So I'm going to teach you what I have collected about every class, fighting them, playing as them, testing them out, watching my friends play them. I have a big group of friends who also play this. And what their consensus on every character's strengths is versus the Lawbringer and how to counter it. So and talk about the Warden. This is going to be one of your hardest matchups. Not particularly a class counter per se, but more of a just top tier, most complete fighter for the 1v1 scene in Duels. So what he's going to have for you is he's going to have a Vortex where he's going to shoulder charge, and he's got plenty of options from here. If he sees you dodging, he can guard break you. If you guard break somebody while they're dodging, they cannot take out of it. It is impossible. I mean, plenty of people out there have tried to test this, and they have confirmed you cannot take a guard break if you were in the middle of dodging. It's just a game mechanic. It wasn't an accident. It's not a higher skill cap guard break tech. It is literally not possible. And his other options, if you don't dodge, he's going to either cancel that into a hit. He's going to follow through with it and get a free hit. He's got all kinds of things he can do. Definitely got to watch out for that. But what most lower tier, and if you're getting started in the duel scene, that you're going to see are Wardens that are going to do nothing but top attack when you're not blocking top, and they're going to zone attack when you're not blocking to the side. So this one is just going to be a angering matchup, because no matter what you do, he's going to hit you with one of those lights. Now, if you do start predicting his patterns and when he's going to do these things, that's when you can start blocking it and checking it. So block it, shove, and do whatever it is that you know works against this particular player, what you've learned about him and not just the class. So I guess in conclusion, watch out for the top light, watch out for the side zone, and watch out for the vortex, and just know that if he is good enough at predicting what you'll do, it's a vortex. In all fighting games, vortexes are pretty much, you're kind of banking on somebody to do something. If they make the wrong choice, you get them again, and you get them again. A good instance would be Quan Chi's Infinite Vortex in Mortal Kombat X, where he can just pick one. If you pick the wrong block, it starts all over again. Moving on to the Conqueror. So the Conqueror, he's a tough nut to crack, right? He's also a top tier character, maybe not in S tier like the Warden, but he is going to stop all of your comboing. So what you're going to want to do is make maximum damage for minimal effort. Guard breaks are going to be key here. Blocking is definitely going to be huge, because that wound up mace is going to devastate your HP. You know, we're not as tanky as people think we are in this full plate armor, and without a shield, it's bad. So block that, shove them, guard break. You're going to want to try your infinite chain out in these guys. If your infinite chain doesn't work because he's good at taking guard breaks, you're going to want to pick lights and just whittle away at him, because if you try to combo him, no matter if it's a light, a heavy, whatever, one shield block, you go reeling back, comes in with a light. So always be ready for counter punishment. If you get good enough in reading your opponent, you will be able to start parrying his light attacks, because they seem to come out slower than his wound up heavy. So when he charges up that heavy, he's actually burning stamina too. Keep that in mind for stamina burn strategies. But when he comes with his Conscript Infinite, with his light attacks, changing sides, block the first one, maybe don't shove it. Wait for the second one, time it, parry it, get that light attack in, maybe try to combo it, not recommended, but get that light attack in for sure, because you're going to want to whittle him down. Every time he's not blocking top, hit him with a top light. Peacekeeper, so she's devastating. We all know that. If you let her get in close range with you, she's going to blend you down, and we have the slowest, if not one of the slowest. I've heard mixed theories about this, that we have the slowest guard change out there right now. I'm not sure if that's true as a defensive character, a counter striker, but if it is, Peacekeeper becomes even more of a problem. She has a side zone that's actually incredibly fast too, just like the Warden, but it's not going to chase you down nearly as far. You cannot back dodge out of a Warden zone, but you can back dodge out of a Peacekeeper. So it's not going to chase you, per se. But she has a lot less life than either of the last two classes we mentioned. So if you do manage to grab her on a dodge, so maybe like give it a top-heavy feint, and our top-heavy actually goes a long way before it feints out. So she's going to commit to that dodge. Guard break, infinite chain, if they're good at guard breaking, guard break teching, this might be more of an issue, but if you feint, she dodges, once again you grab her, she can't take out of it. She might get privy to that eventually, but always remember to be whittling them away with those light attacks. I've seen most Peacekeepers try to do the mix-up thing where they try to get you to try to follow their parries, and it's just don't fall for that shit. Stay in top light. As soon as they start doing that, hit them with the light, chip them down. If you can bounce her off a wall, the heavy light heavy combo will devastate her HP, and since she's on a reflexive blocking like the other two assassins, she will not be able to react nearly as easy to mix-ups on the different sides during your combo. Mirrors. Lawbringer mirrors. So these actually take some time, especially if they go all 5 rounds. It could take you upwards of 15 minutes, just because they're so countery. Like, if you're playing a Lawbringer against another really competent Lawbringer, you guys are going to parry everything but the top light, and sometimes even the top light. You're going to know when it's coming, you're going to know when the lights are coming, everything's getting parried, both players are out of stamina. It's a fucking shit show, and usually hilarious. But I guess the best advice I can give you for countering your mirror comp is lights. Constant lights, because he's going to have a lot of punishment he can do off a parry. So you never want to give him that opportunity. Don't do the heavy after a parry. He's going to parry that and send one right back, and then it's just a parry infinite, where you just parry, parry, parry. However, if you do get the parry, which on most things on him you will, and you light, and followed by another light, punishment. Whittle him down. And then, as a Lawbringer, to win, you got to play a little counterintuitively to what this class is designed for, with those huge unblockables and stuff like that. Our unblockables don't do shit for damage compared to other people's unblockables, so you got to kind of take those off the pedestal and think of yourself more of as a stick and move kind of character, where you're jabbing them, and you see an opportunity, grab them, bounce them off the wall, then hit them with a 3-hit combo. So most of your damage, getting them down at that low range, is going to be done from chip attacks, like just light here, light there, parry, light. The Raider. So this is a pretty straightforward. I just don't know if I haven't really fought the top tier of Raider, but his attacks are extremely telegraphed, even his lights. Reels back, comes forward. If you're skilled enough, you'll get the parry on his light attacks even, and you can just devastate this dude. Just watch out for his charges. If he does knee you in the head into a wall, that usually does set up his momentum, and he does start to steamroll you. And if you do miss parries, he will mess you up. But with all of his things, the biggest thing you got to look out for is the feint on his unblockable. Because as soon as he starts that unblockable, you're like, oh, I got this. You know, you see it coming from a mile away. You're a Lawbringer, you're a parrying master at this point. And then he switches you up into an overhead and bell rings you. And now you don't know where he's coming from. Now he's going to get some damage in. So watch out for that. Feinting and mix-ups are, like, the more high-skilled player you come across, the more feinting and mix-ups you're going to see. It's going to be way less straightforward than what you're used to in, like, an average Dominion match and whatnot. Warlord. Originally one of my hardest matchups until I realized I can parry everything he does. If he ever drops into guard stance, his down block stance, do not hit him. Bad idea. Guard breaks are going to be the key, just like the Conqueror, to getting this guy either A, where you want him, which is off the ledge, or B, whittling him down, just like the other tanks. The non-tanky classes, you can usually get away with a combo. but trying to combo a Warlord will lead to destructive attacks. This dude can, I'm pretty sure he can overhead you on a parry and just chunk your life away. It's incredibly hard. Okay, the Berserker, very intimidating class, just like the Peacekeeper with the mix-ups and just constant hitting. However, we do have one card in our arsenal that we can play against the Berserker, and that's Block Shove. If you block shove everything he does, he is going to get incredibly frustrated because we become basically the Conqueror, right? That is a combo-based character, and we are shutting down his combos every time. Now, where you get your punishment in is when he tries to end with a heavy, end with that overhead heavy. If you miss this, you will die. It will take 70% of your life. However, if you do parry, the combo ending overhead double heavy, it will set him up for some serious counter damage. He is a dodger as well, so keep that in mind. If you feint and he dodges and he doesn't have a tendency to spin hit, you can guard break him, get an infinite chain started, and see how far that takes you. So the Valkyrie. Valkyrie is, I don't fight very many good Valkyries, and I know that this video might become outdated eventually because she is in the patch notes, she is getting buffed, so some strategies may not be as viable, but her most devastating thing tends to be landing that first hit. Because if she lands that first hit, it tends to lead to a shield and to a trip. And off that trip, she is going to give you a guaranteed heavy attack, and that is how she's going to whittle you down. So basically just watch out for that first hit, block shove, light attacks, and don't fall for the trap. Every time she drops into guard stance far away, walk towards her. Make her think you're falling for the long shield rush. And when she does, get that combo started. Sidestep it. It's one of the few things we can sidestep. And just basically start your combo. Light axe, chip him down. The Warlords, I forgot to cover his headbutt into stab. Whilst that doesn't do a lot of damage, there's almost nothing we can do about it besides back dodging. So back dodge it if you can. Otherwise, he will headbutt stab you down. Now, he can also do mix-ups off the headbutt, where he can come in from the side and actually hit you with a real attack, because that headbutt stab does very minuscule damage. But what he's going to try to do is just get you complacent that it's just chipping you away, and he's going to hit you with something a lot more devastating. So always keep in mind that he might have ulterior motives after a headbutt, whether it be a guard break or whatever. Just always be ready to hit that guard break tech. Okay, moving on to the Kensei. This is Parry City. I have not had an easier time parrying a character than Kensei because his moves are incredibly telegraphed. So every time I fight a Kensei, they're just all about this dodge side hit because it just fucks everybody up, right? Because everybody's dodge side hit comes from the opposite direction. His comes from the inside. So as soon as you see him dodge, just get ready. You know, he's going to have some recovery time. So if he doesn't do the inside hit after the dodge, just move it right back to top guard, maybe poke him in the head, whatever you got to do. But if he does do that, parry, punish. Really straightforward character to beat. Not really straightforward character to beat is the Shigoki. Shigoki is a nightmare. What he's going to do is he's going to take advantage of our no double light combo. We don't have any double light combos. However, guard breaking, and pretty much any time you touch him, it will drop his shield. So, a shove, better time that correctly because he can hit you after the shove. Our recovery time's usually too much to block anything. So if you want to sacrifice that, taking a hit, or whatever, that's fine. But parrying him and light tapping into a guard break, into a wall throw, into a 3-hit combo, that's where you're really going to start to shine against Shigoki. Now, try not to be near walls unless you're about to set one up for yourself, because right now, as it stands, I don't know if this is ever going to be changed, I don't know if characters are where they want them right now, but if he throws you into a wall, he will get a Demon's Embrace off. So, against a high-skilled Shigoki, stay away from walls, because he can do that 3 times in a row, especially if you're not good at tech and guard breaks, and just kill you. And it's especially frustrating if you're actually destroying this Shigoki, bounces you off the wall, full lifes you, heals back to full, teabags you, etc. Orochi. So, what the Orochi is going to usually do, and I'm guilty of this as well, is relying on dodging too much. He has a phenomenal dodge. And he will use it to set up all kinds of things. My Orochi is actually going to be worse. My Orochi play is going to be worse for fighting the Lawbringer because I actually side dodge and I hold up on my stick and I do a double light instead of the side. Like I wait for it to just turn top and double light. However, once again, when they dodge, feint, dodge, grab, infinite chain, if it doesn't work, light chip. You're always going to get that guaranteed side heavy too, so keep that in mind. If you do get a guard break and you know you're not going to be able to infinite this dude, maybe just side heavy and shove him away. Don't go for the second guard break because you might just tech it and put you in a bad situation. Also watch out for the storm rushes. So where that character's ultimate high tier strength lies is his storm rush mix-ups. So he can do all kinds of things. And he can also take a step before he cancels the storm rush. And it will activate the red indicator to make you parry it. So what he's going to do most of the time is going to activate the indicator, cancel, you're going to do your heavy attack because you thought you just parried. He's going to parry you, double light, and he can just eat you away like that. So don't be afraid of the storm rush until it's halfway to you. You can only take one step before he cancels it. That's when you want to parry. Orochi also has a lunging guard break. So he will actually be at storm rush distance, take one step, cancel it. You've got the indicator, you're blocking, you're not thinking about the guard break tech, and he's going to close the rest of the distance with a guard break and hit you with guaranteed heavy or double top light. I don't know the specific damage numbers which does more, but they're going to know if they're a top tier Orochi player on which one they need to perform, and both are guaranteed. So storm rush mix-ups, that's where you have to really focus and know what your opponent's patterns are. Nobushi, I really just try to block shove, because block shove is actually going to close the distance. It's our best distance closer against Nobushi. So if you block anything, immediately shove and your interface. I guess you can try to parry her light attacks, because most top tier Nobushis are not going to be throwing too many heavies out there just because their light attacks cause bleeds, they're fast. She has a down guard stance where she will actually dodge you, so your heavy attacks might become null and void against this character if they're good enough, and they're going to be immediately countered, like quickly. So just keep in mind that she has a couple tricks up her sleeve, but if you block and shove, she has very minimal life. You will outlast her. If you're trading, you will outlast her. If you're not trading and she's picking you apart with light attacks and bleeds, you will die incredibly quickly. So be Johnny on the spot with your blocks, and remember to top light her as much as you can, because it will take a lot more health off of her than you think. And that pretty much concludes the basics of how to fight each class, what you need to be thinking going into the fight in a 1v1 duel. Obviously, skill is going to differ between the opponents you fight, but if you keep those certain things in mind when you fight every single class, it'll take you a lot farther than going in just with your normal strategy. Now, I understand that there was a lot of chipping down and things like that, a lot of light attacks with the Lawbringer, when he's got this huge halberd and great unblockables and so on and so forth, but you cannot rely on them in duels because these people are focused, right? You are rarely going to get a light heavy in a duel, and if you do, it's going to be in the first round when they haven't gotten used to your parry speed compared to everyone else yet. They might still be on fighting a Kensei and his parry speed. When yours comes out, they might block too early and miss the parry and you'll hit them. That will not last. So where we stand in the current meta, use those lights win your duels.